In this exercise, I felt it would be better delivered if by video because it contains a lot of steps. However, once you're done, there will be a few questions remaining with regards to creating and modifying walls. If you prefer step-by-step text of the video, I have provided that as well. Steps. Turning off the grids. Step 1. Open your Revit certification Revit file that we created earlier. Activate the Floor Plan Level 1 view. In the Properties palette to the left on your screen, find the Visibility Graphics Overrides row and click on the Edit button in column 2. In the Visibility Graphics Overrides dialog box, activate the drop-down menu labeled as Filter List. In the filter list, ensure there is a check mark next to Architecture and Structure. At the top of the dialog box, there are tabs. Click the tab labeled Annotation Categories. In the far left column of the body, which is labeled Visibility, scroll until you find Grids. Click the checkbox next to the word Grids to turn it off. You should now have a screen showing nothing but the 4 elevation markers. Now for creating the first walls. The first method of designing and creating walls is pretty simple because we're going to use the walls that are already in the system. On the ribbon under the Architecture tab, click on the Wall tool. Below the ribbon, inside of the Properties palette, there is what we call the Type Selector. Right now it probably has an image, and next to the image it may read Basic Wall Generic 8-inch. Click on that to bring down a new list of wall types. Click on the wall type labeled Exterior Brick on Metal Stud. This is how we select different wall types. With this wall type selected, draw a rectangle of any size. As you draw, notice how the wall's length and angle are displayed next to your geometry. Exact lengths and angles can be entered through direct input for precise placement of the walls. Above the rectangle you just drew, start another wall, but before clicking to end the wall, move the end of it down until the angle reads 15 degrees. Then type 30 feet 6 inches, then hit enter to end the wall. You now have a wall that is 30 feet 6 inches long and angles at 15 degrees toward the south. The walls you've drawn can be modified on many different levels. Click on the angled wall that you created above the rectangle drawing in order to reactivate it. As you can see, you can adjust its length and angle. You can even change the wall type by changing it in the type selector inside the Properties panel. As you can see, as I select different wall types, the characteristics of the wall itself changes. Also in the Properties panel, you can change the method of wall alignment. In the left column, find the term Location Line. To the right of Location Line, In the second column, it probably says wall centerline, indicating that the current wall is being aligned and measured according to the center line of the wall. Click on the words Wall Centerline. To the right side of the cell should appear a drop-down menu arrow. Click on the arrow and select Finish Face Exterior. This will make all measurements and alignments reference the exterior of the wall instead of the center of the wall. Make sure that you still have Basic Wall Exterior Brick on Metal Stud selected as your wall type and change the location line to read Finished Face Exterior. Draw another much smaller rectangle to the right of the one you previously drew. Try to start your new wall aligned with the horizontal wall of the first rectangle. Before you click to the end of the line segment, notice how the new wall is lining up according to the exterior face instead of the center. Go ahead and complete the rectangle. I'll walk you through the rest of the most important modification options in the Properties panel. Under Location Line in the left column, you should see Base Constraint. By default, it will say Level 1, which is okay if you're building walls for the first floor. If you click on the words Level 1, you can change it to any level available, and your walls will associate their base with the selected level. Under Base Constraint, you'll find Base Offset, and this function will allow you to offset the base of the wall a specific distance above Level 1, which comes in handy with split-level houses and other custom features one may come up with. Below Base Offset are other functions which are grayed out, and they only become active under certain circumstances. You will not need to know these for the user certification exam. The next active function is Top Constraint. If you click on the term Unconnected in the right column, it can be changed to up to Level 1 or Level 2. If you select the most obvious choice, up to Level 2, the top of your walls will be associated with Level 2, and just watch as I demonstrate. I'm going to make sure that the same wall that I've been using is selected. Then I'm going to change the top constraint to up to Level 2. Notice that the cell under that, which is the unconnected height, has now grayed out, and its height in measurement, which used to read 20 feet, now says 10 feet, which is the height where my Level 2 begins. Right below the second smaller rectangle, draw another rectangle of similar portions with the new settings. Now activate a three-dimensional view by clicking on the house icon in the Quick Access toolbar. You should be able to see the results of your adjustments. Instead of changing top constraint to read Level 2, you can also change the value of the unconnected height row to any specific height you desire. The last icon listed is room bounding, which is always checked by default, and that allows your walls to define rooms of the structure as you design. I've never come across an instance where I've had to use this, and there will not be any questions on the test referring to it. Okay, I know this was long, but this is the basic functions involved in wall creation and modification. The next video will take wall creation and modification to a much deeper level.